The 2021 Saints refused to go quietly into the night. The Rona gave Cam Jordan superpowers, and now the battle cry is, go Rams. Thomas, hit that intro.
Hey, Ralph, Ralphie, Andrew, and Dave. All right, I got a little intel. Your Saints Happy Hour podcast? Yeah. It's a joke, all right? And I'll tell you why. You, Ralph, you mispronounce everything, okay? I listen, I go, what the? Does he not know the English language? All right, Ralph, try to get an English class in there every now and then, okay, pal? Hey, Andrew! Think you're smart, huh? Think you're smart? You're in big trouble, pal. I eat a piece of shit like you for breakfast. And then, of course, there's Dave. Dave, a little obnoxious? Got a little bit of chip on your shoulder, huh? You gotta cut people down all the time? Is that what you gotta do? But know that life is good. Appreciate it. Do what you do. Keep on keeping on. Shooter out.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. We are live on Twitch. If you aren't, follow us on Twitch. And remember to subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcast. Also, become an annual patron at patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour to get the best Saints podcast every day. And you get 2 months for free. Oh, and by the way, we had 3 new Twitch subscribers since our last show. Big JMC2 and Liner and Brett in Lafayette all subbed with Prime. Speaking of which, remember that once a month you can support us totally free if you use Amazon Prime. All you have to do is go to twitch.tv/Saints Happy Hour, click the subscribe button below the stream, and choose the option subscribe with Prime. It's easy, and it's going to take you less than 5 minutes, so go ahead and do it, even if you're listening on the audio version of the show. We have a special guest tonight. Scott Prather of 1420 ESPN is pinch hitting for Andrew and Dave because Dave is trying to get to Orlando. He can't do it. He's taking a flight out tonight. Andrew can't get home because they have like 50 inches of snow. That's right. In Charlottesville, Virginia. So Scott Prather, 1420 ESPN of Lafayette. He said, Ralph, it's my birthday and I'll pinch hit, but you have to sing happy birthday to me. So here you go, Scott. Happy birthday, Mr. Prather. Happy birthday to you. Was that good enough?
Well, it was about as smooth as a Taysom Hill throw out of the pocket under pressure. That's what that was. But hey, the effort was there. Well done, Ralph.
What are we drinking? What are we drinking tonight, boys? I'm drinking a Headliner blonde ale from St. Arnold's.
Sun-Kissed Zero. Just bad for your teeth. No caffeine. Nothing. Just for the taste. Just for the taste.
That Japanese whiskey I was drinking a couple of weeks. Suntory.
Suntory, yeah, nice.
Japanese whiskey.
Suntory. So thanks to everybody in the chat. By the way, I wanted to give a shout out to CK. He predicted the Saints would win 17-10. He was off by just a single point. So congratulations, CK. Yeah. But the defense carries the day for the 4th straight week. They're delivering big time. Cam Jordan, he explains his sort of domination in the last month and why the defensive line in general is kicking ass. Thomas, play that soundbite.
It's like the stocks. It's self-corrections. When I think about it's a season. It's a marathon. It ain't a short sprint. And at the end of the day, early this year, again, I was missing Marcus. I was missing David Onyemata. Once my D-line came back, we came back strong. When you're catching those double teams, those triple teams early on in the season, it can bog you down. Marcus comes back, starts getting a little bit of pressure, starts getting some sacks. They can no longer focus on just me. David Onyemata comes back, they can no longer just focus on me and Marcus. And that's where you see the change. I mean, it's a full-blown push from the entire D-line. I mean, Carl Granderson really turned it on in the middle of the stretch, and that's honestly where you see the change. We've always played the run well, and that's why I've never just looked at just sack numbers. Look at my entire game. I play first down, I play second down, I play third down, I play fourth down, I play overtime, I play whatever it takes to win. And that's the same thing that goes through Marcus. That's the same thing that goes to David Onyemata. The same thing that goes to Demario Davis. Don't just look at one facet of our game. I mean, we try and play a complete game. We're not just edge rushers. We're edge defenders. And I think that goes a little bit farther than just sacks.
Kevin, I hate to do the same old like talk radio or internet Twitter topic to get people mad or whatever, and the topic of, oh, if the Saints had this defense in any other year, they were true, they'd win a Super Bowl. I don't want to go into that. But I want to ask you this question. Is this the best the Saints defense has ever been playing, potentially going into the playoffs under Sean Payton? I feel like this defense is just it's amazing right now.
You don't have to include, just leave out the potentially going to the playoffs thing. This definitely feels like the best defense that the Saints have had since 2006. I know in 2009 they were insane with turnovers and the plus minus and all that kind of stuff. But if you looked at the numbers and the stats throughout the season, they were always like 12th, like 12 to 16, like just outside of like they were outside of the top tier. They weren't like great, but they were good.
Poor Sam Darnold is
combined with a spectacular offense, that's enough to win it for you. It's now the inverse. It's almost the inverse. You get a defense that is absolutely spectacular, and this offense, which has had to muddle through weeks of just poor play, injury, illness, this, that, and the other thing, finally did enough, or has finally done enough in the last few weeks to where they've been able to get a couple of wins. The defense has carried this team, and it's stunning. After the Drew Brees era, to see a Saints team be this spectacular on defense is, I'm blown away. It's my tiny mind is just gone.
Scott, I love you. You're one of my old friends from radio days in that way. And one of the things I love about you is you love the 2000 Saints as much as me. The streak that Cam Jordan is on, I was trying to think of a guy that in Saints history, in recent history or whenever, that is doing what he's done since he came back from the Rona and became a superhero. I was thinking maybe like a 4 or 5 game stretch of Leroy Glover in 2000. What he's doing, he basically went from, oh my God, maybe we need to get rid of him because he's washed, to, oh my God, he's as good as he's ever been. Like, I was trying to think of a defensive player on a run like this for the Saints, a pass rusher. Can you think of one?
It's not really. I mean, people will laugh. There was like a really, because Cam Jordan's been good for a long time. There was like a brief period of time in 2001 where Charlie Clemens led the league in sacks after like 7 games. And we all freaked out like, this guy, they moved Keith Mitchell back to his old spot because Charlie Clemens was healthy in 2001. Mitchell had been a Pro Bowler, and he was doing all this stuff. And I remember getting way too excited. It turned out he just wasn't that good. He just had like a nice stretch.
He might be, if we ever did a unicorn bracket of one season wonders, Charlie Clemens might be a 1 seed.
He was like a half season wonder. But like for Cam, it was, let's just look at this season in a vacuum. There was like, he has the huge game and against Tampa, and it's like, well, is he, is this a flash in the pan? Is he going to go back to not doing anything? And it turned out, no, he's kept it up. But like my question is, why, like, he explained it right, Onyemata, Davenport. Now that you have healthy guys on the D line, guess what? He's playing a hell of a lot better. Like, why do we do that with some positions where we're like, well, you really can't judge them because
that's right.
They're missing this guy and this guy and this guy. Well, Cam Jordan, it was just, oh, he must be washed. I guess this is probably his last days as a Saint. You can't keep him around for sentimental reasons. And now he's on the. I mean,
right.
Look, when he made the Pro Bowl, I was kind of guilty of it too. It was like, he really doesn't deserve it this year. This is just based on name. And yet the last few weeks since he got, since he got Corona, I mean, Ralph, if your wife comes back anything like that, you're in for a good time, brother, because
you're in trouble.
I mean, Jordan's looking as good as he's ever looked the last few weeks.
Kevin, this defense, I was trying to put it in perspective of how good they were yesterday. And the only thing I could come up with for my column was when Maher, how do you say his name? Brett Maher? When he missed the extra point, that should have felt like a calamity for the 2021 Saints. Instead, I was like, whatever. Darnold can play till Thursday and not score. Like, that's how good this defense. I was fully confident that Darnold was not driving the Panthers down and scoring a touchdown and making a 2-point conversion. Like, that's the level of confidence I have in this defense. Can you remember the last time you felt this good about a Saints defense? Are you thinking?
He's thinking.
Yeah.
He's thinking. Play the Jeopardy theme.
Birds
Thomas.
flying through my head. No, I mean, I really can't. Yeah, I really.
Wait, is somebody
can't.
taking a dump on air?
really
I thought that was
can't.
we only played the chime when Dave was taking a dump on air.
Sorry, my
I'm
bad.
confused.
There is nothing. There is not, like, you could maybe say, you could point to the 2009 season and just say something's going to happen.
Tiger Saint says Mar cost him $200.
Something's going to happen here, and it'll work out. Like, we'll get a turnover, whatever. You know, like the proverbial horseshoe up the ass kind of thing. This is just like, I felt about as nervous as like you would feel. Okay, the offense isn't scoring touchdowns. We've been relying on the kicker to score every single point for the last 3 weeks. It had been the kicker every single time. So even when the Saints did get the lead, I'm looking at it like, 12-10, the Saints have to get, hopefully that they can get a score or maybe get another field goal, because I was a little nervous about that. But I never felt overwhelmed like, oh my God, this is over. Like, they're still not going to win. I don't even know why we took the lead, blah, 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 blah. And so maybe that just speaks to just my own comfort level with this defense. And maybe it varies with other people. Maybe they're completely on board. And the second the Saints even take a slight lead at the beginning of the game, it's like, oh, this defense has it on lock. I'm kicking my feet up for the next 58 minutes or whatever. It's we're good to go. I don't know. I'm rambling.
No, and Sky, the other thing about the defense is, and I wish Juge was here because he grades the tape, and you should become a patron so you can get Andrew's grades. They're amazing. He graded them again this week. CD Deuce he's one of the most beloved Saints, obviously. The taunting of Brady, the Chicago, the fact that he gets opponents to punch him in the face and doesn't react. We love him. But he's sort of been up and down this year. But I just feel like, I don't think it's a coincidence that, like, he's back off of IR and healthy, and the Saints defense is better. Like, and I can't even put into words like what he gives the Saints, but he gives them something. I don't know if it's swagger, being an asshole, but he gives them something that they didn't have when he wasn't playing and he wasn't healthy.
Has there been a better shit talker? Has there been a better troll in the history of Saints football?
I don't know.
He's got a PhD in it. He literally can just piss off anyone, no matter how much warning they have. And I think, look, he has to play nickel most of the time. You ask a lot of defensive coaches, they'll tell you it's the hardest spot to play on the defense. And I think because he's gotten beat at times, because there were games certainly early in the season when teams would get him on crossing routes, he has this rep of like, oh, he talks a lot of shit, but he gets burned a lot. And I'm not telling you he's like playing at an all-pro level, but I do think he's a better actual player on the field than a lot of people give him credit for, especially as of late. I mean, he's gotten better since he's been in the league. He's gotten better since he's been on the team. And to your point, there's something about that guy. Like, I think whenever Michael Thomas cold clocked him, the fact that by all accounts, the whole team had CeeDee's back and not Michael's. Like, CeeDee's the guy that, apparently gets in everyone's skin, and yet everybody had his back. And I think that tells you something about sort of the us versus them mentality and how he, for whatever reason, I mean, he's like, they love him. And he does give them, because Demario Davis he lets his play do the talking, right? And he's awesome, and he's a man, a guy. Like, he's not somebody that, he's going to hit you hard and then just, kind of get back there and do his little Hadouken deal. But, I mean, CD is not as much the physical guy as just the most sore thing after a game is his jaw, because he never shuts up, and his vocal cords, and he makes these annoying noises, and I don't know how he does it, Ralph. But yeah, I think you could tell if the team didn't like him, because you see these sort of braggadocious characters over the years, and you hear from teammates, and you get a sense that, like, okay, he's a good player, but it's not like we like him. It's not like he's a guy that we like, go to bat for if we were in an alley. You don't get that with CD Douche. You really get the sense that, like, his teammates truly love him, and like, he annoys everybody else. He's like, yeah, he's an asshole, but he's our asshole, right? And we're going to protect him, and he's going to protect us. So, no, man, I love that dude. I mean, if you're a Saints fan and you don't like CD Douche, then you're not a Saints fan. I don't want to hear
it. Kevin, what would CD Douche have to do against the Falcons in a playoff game for you to buy a CD Douche jersey?
I mean, I don't do any. I really don't buy jerseys. So let's just. So it would have to be pick off Matt Ryan 3 times, run one of them back for a score, and after he's done running it back for a score, somehow taunt him, Matt Ryan, enough to get Matt Ryan chucked out of the game. So let's say
anybody
that.
could do it.
If anybody could do it.
Anybody can do it.
Let's say that.
I hope Cam Jordan sacks Matt Ryan like 8 times Sunday.
I mean, listen, the Atlanta offensive line is bad, and they've been bad all year. So, like, I don't expect the renaissance of the pass rush to end. We'll get to Atlanta game predictions later. The offense, once again, Scott, was at the game. They did things. They attended. But here's the thing. That's another thing I wish. Well, I always wish everyone was here. But Dave last week made a plea to Sean Payton to run the damn ball. He wanted the Saints to run the ball 40, 50 times against Miami. He's like, just run the ball into the brick wall because Ian Book was terrible, and you should have run the ball more. And I think Sean Payton listens to this podcast. We know Connor does because he's a patron.
Right.
But Sean Payton said after the game, listen, did you watch this game? There's a reason I run the ball and we want to be one-dimensional, and I'm going to keep on doing it. Thomas, play that soundbite.
I was frustrated at half. I just thought, man, we had some MEs. We didn't do much of anything well in the run game, obviously. And then, we were able to make some hay in the second half. We'll look at the tape. I'm sure there's going to be a lot we look at that we have to clean up, and there's some guys in there playing right now, maybe getting more playing time that they're used to. But I still think that ability to be two-dimensional as opposed to one-dimensional is important, especially as you're paying attention to, like, the game that we were just playing.
I mean, basically, Scott, I took that as I was not going to allow my offense to lose this game. And if you don't like the fact that I had the ball on Carolina's side of the 50 and punted 3 times straight and just kept pinning them back like it was 1957, tough shit. This is who we are. This is what we do.
It's how they're going to win games. I mean, why would anyone blame him for it? You've got good special teams with the exception.
There it is. Look at Kamara, the one good run they had.
Exception of your field goal kicker, which has been off and on all season. And I know Mahard made his field goals. Of course, he missed the PAT. But, like, outside of that, your special teams is good, and your defense, as we talked about, is playing at an elite level right now. You're playing, Jimmy and Joe on the O-line and backup quarterbacks and a receiving core that, is not good. I mean, just to be frank. So what would you want them to do? Like, don't turn it over. Obviously, this team isn't built to come from behind by multiple scores. If that happens in a game, they're toast. But if it's close, I know, look, you get spoiled 15 years of just this illustrious offense that can do all kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, just fucking win.
I told
And
Tay,
why would you want him to do something else?
I asked Thomas to find good running plays. He ran
There was
Kamara's
none.
play like 3 times.
There was none.
It literally, that was that the 30-yard run?
Yeah, 3
That was
separate
it.
times.
That was it, man.
That was it. That was it.
Kamara rushed for 13 times for 32 yards, and you just saw 30 of them. Right there.
That's it.
Hey, Kevin, that's a great segue to the question that I want to ask you. If Ingram, Dave's boyfriend, if he's got a knee issue, if he can't go, and the Saints are running the ball well against Atlanta, what is the over-under of carries for Kamara in this game if the Saints are running the ball well and they don't have Ingram, knowing they need to win this game to get a playoff spot? What's the over-under for Kamara carries Sunday?
Well, let's see. I mean, so we're assuming Hill is the starting quarterback again.
Yeah. Your UDFA son, Tony Jones Jr.
Yeah. I mean, he got 1 carry for -2 yesterday.
He was terrible.
Yeah. All right. Hey,
It makes me almost
we're
wanna
not taking any gib from across the Atlantic Ocean here.
That's right.
See, now you've lost my train of thought, Tomas.
Fuck that.
Over under.
Let's go.
Okay, Alvin Kamara, I'm going to say he's rushing the ball 16 times. If they're really rushing it good, I'm going to say 16 times because I think Tony Jones will actually get like 3 or 4 touches. I think Taysom will probably wind up doing about the same, 12, 13 rushes. And yeah, they'll just keep, like, Alvin Kamara will get 16, 17.
Scott, I would pound the over. I think if the Saints are running the ball good against Atlanta, I think Kamara might set whatever his record for carries is, he's going to shatter it. Like, I could see 20.
If it's a close game, yes. Right. I think because Payton's he's not going to trust. He's going to, in a situation like this where it's not winning you get in, but you lose and there's no way you get in, right? You know, of course you need help. But the fact that a playoff spot's on the line, he's not going to trust Tony Jones Jr. with respect. Like if they have a lead of more than 1 possession, yeah, you know what, they're gonna, maybe Ty Montgomery gets some carries, Tony Jones. But if it's a close game and they're running well, I would say Kamara's over. I would say 21 or 20.
Well,
maybe.
you say it's not for you say it might not be to clinch a playoff spot, but I'm sure they'll know the score. And maybe the Rams are in control of that game. Knock on wood. It could go, guys. Like, you could look up in the third quarter and be like, the Rams are up 21-7. We win this game, we're going. So, like, the urgency could get more. Scott, watching Taysom yesterday, was he good yesterday? I feel like he might have been.
You're grading him on a curve, though, aren't you?
I mean, I grade him with a curve with the receivers and the offensive line, and like
wasn't. He look. He had that great throw to Callaway, near the end of the first half. But I mean, no, he wasn't good. I mean, he played like a backup quarterback who,
Thomas is showing all his bad throws.
I mean, look, he just they're even the ones that
All
get
his
there.
good ones are coming later.
The receivers having to like stop and drop down. But that's what he is. He's not the most. I mean, like I said, his accuracy about as good as singing "Happy Birthday." It's so by his standards. If you're saying, "Oh, it's a backup quarterback," that.
But I mean, like Saints offensive standards, like for what they are capable of doing right now in 2021. Like, could he have been better yesterday?
I don't know. I mean, yes. I mean, look at that throw. There were actually 3 guys open on that play. I'm not saying that he was like terrible.
Carolina guy was open too.
I'm not saying he was terrible. I won't go as far as saying that he was good. He didn't turn it over thanks to the Panther drop, and he did what they needed to do. When you got a makeshift O-line, Taysom's the only answer. I mean, Book and Simeon, they get crumbled back there. So I won't say good, no, but I won't say terrible. I'll say that I'll give him a C-. How's that?
Ralph,
That's interesting.
Ralph, can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead.
So while you guys were going, I decided to look Alvin Kamara's games with the most rushes. He's had his top 3 games, or the 3 games with the most rushes. He's had 27 rushes, 26 rushes, 24 rushes, all in the 2021 season.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah. One of them is
Maybe
what?
we set the over-under
Seattle.
too low.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so let's see. The 27 rushes was against the Jets. The 26 rushes was against the Giants. And the 24 rushes was against the Patriots.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot about that. So I would set the over under on his max carries would be like 27 and a half, right?
I mean, yeah, but that's like his career high is
that's
27.
That's too much.
So I mean, you're probably overshooting it there. Like maybe you're if you're going to look for an over under, maybe 20 and a half, 21 and a half.
All right, we'll set it there. 21 and a half. Scott, over under Kamara carries Sunday, 21 and a half.
I'll go under. I think it's right. I think it's right at 21. That's my bold prediction.
I'm gonna go over. Kevin?
Yeah, I'll go under. I think it winds up being maybe, well, again, I said 16, 17, so I'll stick with that.
Yeah. Well, that's what my next segment. I started to get to it, and then Kevin, which I like the fact you went and hunted down Alvin Kamara's career high in carries. And
you have somebody in the background doing the research for you. I saw someone come in.
He's got roommates. At least they're not
Hey,
crawling on the
tomorrow.
floor like they have been the last couple of weeks,
There you
Scott.
go.
But Kevin, we know the Saints' defense is ceiling, right? They can make Tom Brady break tablets and throw tantrums.
Yeah.
What is this offense's like? If they play Atlanta, in your mind, what's the absolute best they can play as far as yards, points, whatever, not including like 4 defensive turnovers? Like, in your mind, what's the best this offense can give us in the season finale? No, you don't have to predict a score because we do that later. But
Yeah,
what's their ceiling?
Again, maybe somewhere in like the 270, 280 total yards. I'm just assuming that like Kamara gets the ball as much as he does.
They had 280 yesterday against Carolina.
Okay. If they had 280 yesterday, then let's bump it up to 295.
Okay.
Let's bump it up to 295. You get Taysom making a few really good deep throws and then making those like intermediate passes that end up getting some extra yak. And that's about it. So just under 200 yards for Taysom, and then like 100 or so rushing, something like that.
Scott, what's the ceiling of this offense?
Do they have the same offensive line that they had yesterday?
I would assume so, because maybe you get Armstead back.
Yeah, it's probably, they get a fair amount. Certainly you look at the Jets game and some of these games, there's a decent amount of cosmetic yards late, but it's probably, I think, the ceiling, honestly, with that offensive line and the receivers and everything. Against Atlanta, who's pretty terrible, I would say is probably around 320 yards tops, and that's the ceiling, right? I'm not expecting that.
And it's a lot of rushing yards, right?
Right. And you look at the, the Saints had 207 passing yards against Carolina. A lot of them came on the big play to Callaway, and I don't know. You look at some of the other big pass plays this year, maybe Deontay Harris or Deontay Hardy now taking it, a lot of yards after catch. So with that offensive line, it's just so hard, and those receivers, just so hard to generate a lot of offense. I think the ceiling is about 320, honestly. And they get in the playoffs, it's the Rams, and we'll just
really hold off on that. But here's, Kevin, he brought up a good point about Marquez Callaway. And by the way, people in the chat are saying, we got to watch out for Patterson and Pitts. We'll get to Atlanta in a little bit. But Marquez Callaway, Kevin, I was trying to think of him as like a Saints receiver that's as perplexing as him. And people brought up Devery Henderson, but I don't remember Devery Henderson making circus catches when he struggled for the Saints. I remember him being wide open and not being able to catch the ball. I don't remember him making a bunch of circus catches. Can you think of a guy as perplexing as Callaway? Because he will make incredibly difficult catches, and then he'll drop back-to-back ones that hit him right on the number 1 of his jersey. Like Thomas is playing the highlight there. Like that's a tremendous catch. It's all hands, no body. It's incredible. And then he runs another route where it's a great route. He's wide open, and boom, he's dropping the ball. Can you think of the Doppler gang or another Saints receiver that's as perplexing as him?
Did you just say Doppler gang?
A
Doppelganger?
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know Carl Arredondo came back and is running
Ralph can't say anyone's
criminal
name right.
enterprise now. Anyway, I think I get why people would make the comparison with Devery Henderson, because Devery, hang on, I got to just move my shoes. Pardon me. It's my own house. I can take my shoes off.
Okay, Mr. Rogers.
Devery would make these great catches, these running, these deep balls that Drew would connect with, like the flea flickers and things like that. And then you rewind like a couple of seasons, like early on in Devery's career, and you can look back at old audio, old episodes of this. We were calling him Stone Hands.
Yeah.
From unnecessary roughness, because the guy had the speed. He couldn't hang on to a football to save his life.
I said he looked like a toddler trying to catch a beach ball.
But after a couple of years, he started to really just make the catches. And all it became was, okay, Devery is going to have like this set number of, like he's only going to reach this height in terms of catches. But almost all of them are going to be amazing. And it's all going to it's all just seemingly going to be breakaway, things like that.
That's right.
Whereas Callaway, it's not the running, it's not the go, what would you call it? A go route? Like just the straight, what is that? The one?
The go route, yeah.
Okay. It's not those. It's run out, curl, hook back, bang, catch, and then see if you can get something afterwards. Or catch something short, see what you can do there. Shit like that. And it's not, again, it's the drops feel consistent. He should have had it. That sort of consistency.
Ted Ginn, people are saying. Ted Ginn's a good one.
What he was actually pulling
in the chat, right?
That's what I was thinking. I saw the Saints Mexi. I mean, I guess you don't think of Ted Ginn right out the gate because he had such a long career, and it wasn't like he was with the Saints for the bulk of it. But that was kind of Ted Ginn's whole career. He was under a bigger, he was under a different.
Well, Ted Ginn,
he was a first-round pick and did other things and had a lot of speed. But he was that guy that would make a circus catch and then just, drop the easy ones.
Ted Ginn in 2017 for the Saints, he was amazing, and the drops disappeared for like a year, and he was amazing. And by the way, Ted Ginn was a monster in both of those playoff games in 2017. But here's my question to you, Scott, and I don't care. People are gonna say I'm just saying this to stir it up, but mostly I just wanted an excuse to play this video. All I'm saying, the Saints need a receiver. An all-pro receiver came available today. The Saints, they worked him out one time. Antonio Brown, get him a jersey. Get him for the playoffs. Revenge game against the Bucs. Who's with me? Are you with me?
Everyone!
Ralph, I know you like to embrace chaos, but
I do.
Come on, man. This This isn't even worth the content you would get out of it. Let's be real. It's not. I mean, he's come on. I mean,
God, I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that.
Well, yeah, I would love to actually hear what Jim Mora has to say about Antonio Brown just mid-game, just
It makes me almost
calling it in.
Serious mental issues aside, which Tom Brady said it after the game. Look, we care about Antonio. I hope he gets the help he needs. People need to be compassionate. That aside, Kevin, I think that might be the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I've heard of players quitting at halftime. They had a bill a couple of years ago that he went into half. He's like, I'm done.
Vontae Davis.
Yeah, Vontae Davis. But this is the craziest thing. I mean, he's waving to the crowd and walking, running off.
Took his jersey and the pads off and just said, "See you later." But I don't know, man. It's somebody on Twitter, and I think it was, I want to say it was Wolf on Twitter, who said that the guy has, he was saying something about attitude issues and mental health issues, and I don't know. I put out there, can it be both? Can't this guy, this one guy, be an asshole and his own mental health makeup on top of whatever sort of traumatic brain injury type shit that occurs in football has all happened to him, and that has made this particular asshole an even bigger asshole. I don't know, but
Scott,
I guess answering your question, I would not want him anywhere near the Saints. He needs to stay away from football. He needs to get whatever sort of mental and emotional help that he needs, and I hope he finds it and gets it. But I don't think being in the NFL is the right thing. Is good for him at this particular time. Granted, I am an unathletic 41-year-old dude who doesn't play pro sports, so we can just take that for what it's worth. But I am a 41-year-old dude who has had, or I guess has, mental issues, so I can just say, take care of that shit and worry about, put everything else secondary. I don't know.
Solve your problems with aggression.
I would not advise that.
Not to make this a Bucks podcast.
Oh, I thought you said we're going to keep it a buck, and I was about to be like, well, we're going to have to retire that phrase for everybody because you just used it.
No. I was going to say, clearly, Scott, Tampa needed him because he did the fake Vax card. They didn't cut him, and they're missing Godwin. Mike Evans is injured. Gronk is old. Like, they needed Antonio Brown, I feel like, to make a deep run to get back to the Super Bowl. I wish it could have worked out where the Saints could have made the playoffs and played them first. Because I think this is a death blow to Tampa's chances to repeat. They needed him to be good for them to go deep in the playoffs. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of like last year, they were starting to play their best ball going into the playoffs, and this year they seem like they're sinking a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they barely got by the Jets. They're beat up, and I don't think Arians really liked the idea of getting Antonio Brown. He just, Tom Brady said, bend over, and Arians says, sure, whatever you need. I mean, that was totally to appease Tom Brady. He probably didn't want him back. He probably didn't want him back after the back stuff, but he's going to do what Tom Brady wants. And
that's what somebody said it on Twitter. They're like, Bruce Arians said Antonio Brown is no longer a Buck, and somebody tweeted, "Did you ask the Tampa Bay head coach Tom Brady about it?" No.
Did you ask the GM? Did you ask team owner Tom Brady?
Tom Brady. Right.
The weird thing with Brown is, like, I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, he'll be back. It's the NFL." Da 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 da. This isn't like a Josh Gordon sort of substance issue, and it's. What he did the other day was like so over the top and theatrical, and you got a sense there's like it's Maybe I'm in the minority here. I don't think he's playing in the NFL again. I just
I don't
don't
think
see
so
another
either.
team finally
I don't
being
think so either. Because
it's too much between what happened with the Raiders. He was on the Patriots for a week, and then Brady gets him on the Bucks, and it helped him, and they won a Super Bowl. But he's just I think you're going to start seeing it. What was it? Brooks Koepka's like he'll probably be boxing a Paul brothers soon. I mean,
oh my
that's the route for Antonio Brown moving forward. I mean, he's
I,
made a shit ton of money too.
no, Kevin, I think Scott's right. I don't think Antonio Brown's going to play in the NFL again because Tom Brady was his benefactor. Like he was done in the NFL kinda, and then the Patriots brought him on because Brady wanted him, and they brought him to Tampa because Brady wanted him. Like, and unless Brady is going to go somewhere else after Tampa, which I mean, maybe that deal with the devil lasts another 10 years. I don't know, but like that was it. Like Antonio Brown was getting an NFL paycheck because Tom Brady wanted him in Tampa, and now I don't think another team.
What quarterback has the juice? Has the juice to get somebody like Antonio Brown on their team?
I've been immunized. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers doing whatever the fuck. Yeah. Maybe Aaron Rodgers. He's basically running Green Bay right now. But
I guess Aaron Rodgers, because if he was going to get traded to a team, or maybe Russell Wilson, he has a no trade. Like he could say, "Hey,
I don't think Russell has that kind of clout.
It's just Rodgers and Brady, right? I don't think there's another one out there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want the Saints to sign Antonio Brown because I love chaos, and
you should totally tweet that out, Ralph, and let the intelligentsia of Saints Twitter digest that, and I'm sure come up with some reasonable responses to you.
Thomas, make a graphic. Should the Saints sign Antonio Brown, and put it on Facebook and see how long it takes you before you have to disable the comments. All right, so we have a segment on the show now, Scott, that we do every week. It's the Saints Make a Wish segment, because a lot of times punts feel like first downs, and first downs feel like touchdowns, and touchdowns feel like winning the lottery. Thomas, graphics maestro extraordinaire, made this amazing graphic for us. If you're not on the Twitch live stream, you should get on the Twitch live stream and join the show, because then you can see the graphics. He's got me as the lion. I could read. He's got Kevin, I wish I had a girlfriend. He's got Dave saying he wants hair. He's got Andrew, I wish I knew football. And he's got Gail Benson, just because I guess he likes Gail Benson. So this week's segment, Make a Wish, and my wish for the Saints is that a tight end catches a touchdown. Because I feel like if the Saints are having a tight end catch a touchdown, things are going really, really, really good against the Falcons. So Scott, make a wish. You can't just like wish for the Saints to win, because we got to do predictions later, but make a wish for the Saints Sunday.
Oh, you already said it. I want Cam Jordan to sack Matt Ryan 8 times. 8 might be pushing it, but let's
Only
just say like 5. I mean, there's no player in the NFL. Oh, there, dude, play the whole clip when they start laughing at Matt Ryan getting shrugged by Shy Tuttle. Yeah, dude, I give Cam Jordan like 5 sacks. There's no player in the league that sacked another player more than Cam Jordan to sack Matt Ryan. The way Cam's playing right now, the Saints had that great game on Halloween. The next week they came back shit to bed. Probably the worst performance by the D-line all season was that game against Atlanta. Matt Ryan just got to sit back there and do whatever the hell he wanted. All you got to do is pressure him. I mean, the guy's about as nimble as Ralph, no offense. So just get back there.
All offense, Scott.
I take no lies detected from me, Kevin.
Hey, Ralph can move better than Matt Ryan in the pocket. I've
been getting therapy, Scott. I got the grip strength of an 11-year-old boy now, and I got more flexibility in my Achilles. I'm making sense.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. So Kevin, make a wish for us.
Yeah, I'll sure. Let's just stick with the theme of things we said earlier as the wish, and I'll just say CJ GJ gets 3 picks, runs one of them back for a touchdown, and then taunts Matt Ryan and incites Matt Ryan to get thrown out of the game.
All right. So last week, Dave got on you people about the hotline. That's Dave's baby for new listeners. I know sometimes we get a lot of new listeners when the Saints win and it's playoff. They have a chance to make the playoffs. So we probably have a lot of new listeners this week. So the hotline bounced back this week. Radio voice Adam,
was
he
great.
doubted the Saints and then apologized in the same hotline today. We had an offensive line suggestion to fix it that's brilliant. And Scott, I know you'll like this one and appreciate it. We had a father-daughter song. So Thomas, play that hotline. It's time for this week's hottest takes from the Saints Happy Hour Hotline.
Hey guys, it's Adam the radio voice calling you from Maryland right now. There is 2 minutes left in the first half, and I'm calling this game already. It's over. Saints lose. Carolina wins. This offense is offensive. It's horrible. It's terrible. Taysom Hill is not the answer. He flat out sucks. Human being, great human being. Quarterback sucks horribly. Keep him at what he needs to be, a Swiss Army knife. But worst home record in 25 years. And again, I'm calling this with 2 minutes left to go in the first half. This game is over. It's terrible. And if they win, you have all rights to make fun of me, guys. Appreciate everything you do. Take care. Peace. Maybe who dat?
Hey guys, this is Poncho. I'm here driving with my wife. I just wanted to say, back in the glory days when we talked about playoff Josh Hill? Well, is the new playoff Josh Hill, is that like COVID, post-COVID Jordan? Like whatever medicine he took to get better, whatever vaccines he did to get better from COVID, that's what they need to be handing out to the rest of the team. Who dat? See you guys later.
Hey, it's Adam, the radio voice from Maryland. Okay, I stand corrected. They came back and they won 18-10. All right, I'll take it. I'm good. All right, a little premature. All right, take care. Bye.
The Saints need to fire all of their backup offensive linemen and replace them with a giant pile of marshmallows in front of Taysom Hill. Because they couldn't be much worse pass blocking, and it would only be an improvement run blocking. And at least they had something to snack on in between plays. Jesus fucking Christ, that was an abomination. But it was a win. One more game, baby. Who dat?
I think Cam Jordan just sacked Sam Darnold again, while Cesar Ruiz is passing off his guy and letting Taysom get killed. This was pretty much a typical Saints win. We finally scored a touchdown. We kicked 3 field goals just to miss an extra point. And C.J. Gardner-Johnson was at full C.J. Gardner-Johnson. This was a great win, and we just need the Niners to lose and us to win, and we're in the playoffs again, baby. And if we make the playoffs, I think this is one of the best seasons we've had since Drew Brees was not our quarterback.
Hey, y'all, who dat? Loogie Police calling you over another win. We forgive you for not playing our stuff last time, but we're going to keep calling until you play it. So here we go. We're celebrating another win, and we're still alive. Me and my daughter right here. Saints fans, the whole nation, go ahead, hit the strong Payton. You know you're hip, boy, while you're waiting. Do your dance, hit the strong Payton. Sean Payton, Sean Payton, Sean Payton, Sean Payton. Black and gold, still alive. Who dat?
Why is that quality so terrible? It does not sound like that on my phone.
This is a Saints fan, subscriber to the Saints Happy Cast. What's with this Saints football team? This has to be the worst football team in the world. Taysom can't stay healthy. Simeon doesn't know football. Everyone has a hard time watching Book. And is Jameis even there tonight? The offense with this team, my God, the offense, it's painful.
I liked it.
That's a Hall of Fame call right there. That's a Hall of Fame call there at the end.
I feel like the hotline rebounded strong this week.
We have a new intro, Ralph.
Yeah, we do.
From the
That was
hotline.
solid. That was good. Last week, y'all didn't get shit, and I started to get. I somehow got like looped in on Twitter. Somebody was saying, I guess that was Scott that called the hotline. I was like, man, why? What did I do? That was good. That was really
As
good.
good as quality hotline.
I like
the hotline. The hotline. They need to either when it does good when the Saints win or they lose in horrible fashion that's like close. If the Saints just get blown out, people just like, I'm not calling. But otherwise, we get a lot of calls and I'm proud of the hotline. Like, it's Dave's baby. We're pushing it. People enjoy it.
One of
So
many.
that's good. So now we got to go to Saints trivia, and it's sponsored by Budrich as always. But here's the thing, and I told Budrich this because he was like, I'm going to bring up painful Rams memory, and I flat out told Budrich, I said, Budrich, if you have some trivia question that's 1983 when the Rams converted like 4th and 26 to beat the Saints and the Saints were going to go to the playoffs for the first time, I will ban you, and I will report you to Twitch or the Twitter police and for a hate crime. But Thomas, what's the trivia tonight?
Okay, trivia sponsored by Budrich. The trivia question is, which QB drafted by the Saints has the best winning percentage? And
oh my God,
one more caveat, guys. If you think you know the answer, don't say it out loud. Just keep it for so the other can guess.
Okay.
Just like last week, it was, I know, yeah, it's this guy,
So we'll work through the people that we know it's not, right? It can't be Archie because he's the worst. He has the worst winning percentage of any quarterback in NFL history. Who else can it be? Can't be like Werfel, right, Scott?
No.
I mean, it can't be. I guess. The thing is that I'm trying to figure out, Scott, is there a quarterback for the Saints that we're not thinking of that has like a small ass sample size?
I think I might know the answer.
Yeah.
I think I might know the answer, but I don't think this guy played any regular season games for the Saints.
What? Oh, which quarterback?
No, well.
It'd have to be drafted. Well, okay, I read the question wrong. It has to be drafted by the Saints.
Okay, I think
I know it.
I think I know, Scott. I think I'm on the same wavelength as you, and I'm really keying in on that silhouette.
Yeah, I think I know it. And I'm gonna tell
Hang on, I'm gonna write it down on my thingamabob here.
I'm gonna tell a funny story.
Yeah, you do
when
that.
When I was working for Richard Condon back in Baton Rouge, he told me, he's like, Ralph, I want you to get me a Saints draft pick on the phone, and I want you to get me an interview. You got to get me. He's like, and I'll give you $75 for every Saints player that they drafted that you can hunt down an interview. So I took Mike Detilier's draft guide, and I went in the high school and like called high schools and coaches' names, and I found this guy's mother, and I asked her about the coach who was her husband, and she was like, he's been dead for 25 years. I asked to speak to him because I didn't know, because I was going through Mike Detilier's draft guide.
You got 20 bucks.
I mean, hey, that was back in 2000, the spring of 2000. I was poor, and $75 was a crap ton of money to me. So I was desperate to get drafted players for the Saints on, and I failed miserably. I think I know who it is.
I've written the name down on the opposite side of this card here. So, I'm locked in.
There's the proof.
Yeah.
There's the proof. So
yeah, I could be wrong, but it was the name came to me as soon as I saw the question, and so
I read the question. I heard the question completely wrong, but
okay,
I know it.
I'm gonna give
confident.
you. I don't know what's your answer gonna be, but I'm gonna give you a final hint. This is the first time that I have reused the silhouette.
Ooh.
Well then, shit.
Well, I'm confused, but
damn it.
I think I'm going with my answer. Thomas, can I give my answer?
Yeah. Give me your answers, guys.
My answer is Mark Bulger.
Yeah, that was my thought as well. I was thinking Mark Bulger, partly just because you were talking about the Rams, and I thought that the trivia question was going to be tied into the Rams.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
Kevin?
so that's who I thought of.
So-
but
Yeah. I thought I pictured Mark Bulger. I was picturing Mark Bulger, and I wrote the wrong Rams quarterback who played for the Saints.
You put Jim Everett?
No, Jamie Martin.
Oh my God!
I meant Mark Bulger.
He wasn't drafted by the Saints.
I know.
No,
I
know.
meant.
You got the
That's what I'm
names
saying.
mixed
I
up.
meant Mark Bulger.
You talk about a sad dude. If Jamie Martin ever had to play a game in 2006, the Saints would have lost 100-0. That dude was so washed, it wasn't even funny. But Thomas, we got questions. People in the chat are like 4K, Dave Wilson, Delholm. No, it's got to be a quarterback drafted by the Saints but has the best winning percentage. You guys are thinking that quarterbacks that played for the Saints in the 70s, 80s, and different times, they've drafted quarterbacks and let them leave. Like maybe no, Billy Kilmer didn't draft, but anyway, Thomas, give us the answer.
Not Jamie Martin. Mark Bulger.
I'm gonna tell you one of the guys in the chat got it right, but let's find out the final answer.
Oh my God.
387.
That is horrific.
Didn't Mark Bulger have a better winning percentage than
Yeah,
that?
like
Yeah,
Mark.
hang on a minute, man.
Now I gotta look up Mark Bulger.
Yeah, hang on.
Mark Bulger's
Budrich
got
in the chat, set them straight. Set them straight, Budrich.
Yeah, I'm on there right now.
Mark Bulger got like a $50 million contract from the Rams, man.
All right, let's see.
Where's my winning percentage?
Jay
here?
Haynes 79 in the chat called it. Dave Wilson.
Dave Wilson, yeah,
is the right answer.
You didn't specify with the Saints though.
You said drafted by.
You just said drafted by the Saints. It's got to be Bulger. It's got to be Bulger.
Hey, if it makes Kevin feel any better, in 2002, the Rams started 0-5, and Bulger filled in for an injured Jamie Martin, who was filling in for an injured Kurt Warner. So we did tie him back into this.
Oh my God! Didn't they beat the Saints too? Like the Saints were trying to get to 500, and Hazlitt was the interim.
No, what fucking sucked is the Saints won that game. It was a great game. They won on the buzzer on a walk-off field goal, but then they lost the damn three-way tiebreak because the Saints had beat the Rams had beat the Vikings, and the Vikings had beat the Saints. And goddamn Doug Bryan, now the kicker for the Jets, couldn't make a field goal to beat the Rams in the last game of the season.
Okay. Mark Bulger in his career 41 and 54.
Ooh.
Oh.
So hang on a second. 41.
Damn, we're all getting cocky here. We're probably all
wrong. You're getting Budrich is screaming at his screen. I told you, people.
Divided by what is that? 96. Nope, winning percentage of 42.7.
There you go. See, I told
you.
That's
right. Mark Bulger.
I told you.
Yeah, but Budrich specified during the question that he has to play for the Saints.
Yeah, but you did
in the chat.
Drafted.
Drafted by the Saints. He didn't say he had to play for the Saints.
Yeah, both.
Poor trivia execution by Budrich and Thomas there. I'm gonna say that.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you guys. You're gonna give it to
There you
go, guys.
Look, I'm the jackass who wrote Jamie Martin thinking
Jamie Martin. Like of all the things that could pop into Kevin's brain at that moment.
Hey,
like
tonight I learned that if it wasn't for Jamie Martin, Mark Bulger would have never,
That's right.
He never gotten a chance to start and be the answer to this trivia question that we were wrong about.
So for Kevin, we have.
Thanks
He
for
was
the hit.
thinking Mark Balzer. Come on.
He was thinking Mark Balzer. So let's get to it's question time. But I want to say before Thomas hits the music, we get so many questions every week that we decided we'll answer the questions that don't appear on the main show during daily shows. And we had one last week and it was awesome. It's a little off because it hit like before the Rona bomb that ruined the Dolphin games, but it's a bunch of like off-season questions. So listen to the mailbag podcast if you're a patron. It's amazing. And if you're not a patron, become a patron, and then you can listen to the mailbag and you can get this sweet Saints season survival mug. It makes any alcohol you drink taste 45% better. So Thomas, hit the take it to the top music. Let's do some questions. See this hand? Grip strength of an 11-year-old. Look at that. I could do a full practical turn with that hand. Look at that. Physical therapy, kids. It works. All right, Thomas. Hit us with
next question.
Okay, first question comes from Biloxi Blues. Ralph, speaking of your grip strength, what a coincidence. Using the scale of a 7-year-old being the lowest, 11-year-old being middle of the pack, or Ralph's grip strength, and a 14-year-old being the strongest, how would you rate Taysom's grip on the football with the splint on his finger?
Scott, you can take this one.
Way to just pass that off.
I know, right?
Second. I mean, it's how many times is it? I mean, it slipped out during the Jets game, right? But it's not like it's slipping out of his hand every play.
I don't want to jinx him. He's kind of like he's kind of fixed his fumbling problem, right? Now he'll fumble 8 times Sunday, but like he fumbled, he spit up the ball constantly. He fumbled 10 times when he started 4 games. This year he's only fumbled twice.
I'll give him the 14-year-old.
Yeah,
on this scale. I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
More than Ralph?
Next question.
More than Ralph, absolutely. More than Ralph.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, next question comes from Bruce HC, straight from Scotland. And Bruce asks, very long question again. What has this season told us about the end of the Breeze era that we didn't know, and how does that change the way we see the team for the future? Example, I'm not sure Ramczyk gets the same deal if he had been extended now, and Jeff Ireland doesn't look quite as smart.
Thanks to UL Mont1, he subscribed with Prime. Thank you. Support the show. We need the support. You guys make this show possible, and we need money to keep it going because we gotta. Thomas's Ponzi scheme in Poland ain't gonna run itself. All right, just give us a couple shekels every month. That's what I'm saying. So, Kevin, this question here, it's long. It's like the question in Back to School. I only have one question in 27 parts.
I'd like to break you in 37 parts.
So no, what
I have no answer, Ralph. This is a multi-pronged question about what is Drew being gone taught us that we didn't already know. The Saints need more QB help. Like
That's right.
Russ Wilson, save us, Russ. Save us.
I will say this about what this season has taught me about the Drew Brees era. And I knew it instinctively, but watching Big Ben this entire season, Scott, I am so thankful that Drew retired because Ben Roethlisberger this year has been sad. Like Drew Brees, yeah, he was kind of broken in 2020, but the Saints still went 12-4. They won a playoff game, and it wasn't that bad. And they would have beat Tampa if Cook hadn't fumbled. I am thankful that I didn't have to watch.
Thanks a lot, Jared.
I'm thankful that I didn't have to watch broken down Drew Brees at the end and the Saints go like 7-9-1 and miss the playoffs. Like I'm glad I didn't have to watch that.
Think about some of like the all-time greats in any sport that some say, "Oh, well, Drew hung on too long." I don't agree with that. I can give you examples of guys that played way too long. I mean, granted, a different position, but Jerry Rice, wasn't he like cut in like Broncos camp? I
Dude,
mean, it was, Emmitt Smith's last years with the Cardinals, Joe Namath playing with the Rams, just looking just horrendous. I mean,
Yep.
Big Ben, okay, they've all been with one team, but geez, man. I mean, you're right.
That's
Just
right.
just kinda looking sad out there. So, I mean, hell, Marino had a good last season. Granted, not a good last game. He lost 62-7, but he still had something. Like,
That's right.
had he come back for another year after that, it would have been, I would have been lumping him in this category. Like, he knew when to hang it up. I think Breeze instinctively knew too. And I'm with you. I'm glad we didn't have to see that. Oh, well, what would he do with this defense and that, whatever. I just know that he didn't have it anymore. And he should have been freaking offended whenever he was watching a Monday night game.
How dare you?
A JV squad out there. That guy, talk about trying to get him killed. Hey,
That's
just come
right.
back this one time. Only you're going to have half a team to play with.
Yeah. How
Jesus.
dare he probably texted Sean Payton like, "How dare you? How
Really?
dare you?"
There's only one starter left in the O-line.
You were
it's
gonna do this
Ruiz?
to me.
Yeah. Remember what happened to my ribs the last time I
Yeah.
played with that dude? Yeah. Bad news.
All right.
Next question.
Next question comes from Don Checo, and he asked I think 3 questions.
Oh my God, what is
to get
with
them all
this?
in.
No.
Short, concise questions. Who, what, when, where, why, people. You can't do in multiple parts.
This is right to the
No,
point.
it wasn't multiple. It was 3 questions, 3 separate questions.
All
3
right.
separate questions. Chill out, bro. Don Checo asks, would you take Jameis in 2022 if you knew he would duplicate Aaron Brooks's 2000 season, or Russ with an unknown outcome?
Ooh, that's a good question. Scott, you take this because you love the 2000 Saints almost as much as me.
Oh, I do. I would say more. Yeah, maybe I don't because I'd still take Russ.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get a franchise quarterback, you do it. And as fun as that season was with Brooks, I mean, he was 4-3 as a starter, and then the great playoff win. He was a lot of fun. He was awesome. But Russell Wilson is still better now, even after this season, than Aaron Brooks was for that half season. So you take Russell Wilson every time.
Aaron Brooks in those 5 games that he started, 3-2. Well, actually, I can't give you the full the stats just for the 5 games. Other than that,
I'm including the 2 playoff games.
But he never got over 60% completion percentage. His highest completion percentage was 2003, 59.1, and that was the year that he threw 24-8. And had his best interception per touchdown interception ratio.
Yeah,
it's Russell Wilson all the time.
Oh, Russ.
Correct.
The quarterback next year, I think, is either going to be Jameis or Russ. I mean, right? If they'll make a big play at Russ, if they can't trade for him, they'll re-sign Jameis.
It is going to Kevin, I feel bad for you because if they trade for Russ, there's no draft picks for the next 2 years. I mean,
Look, man, I
feel bad.
I'll jump off that bridge when we come to it.
That's right. You'll get over it. They'll have Russ, right?
Next question.
Next question comes from Vince S. And too bad Dave's isn't here. And Vince S. asks, what tier subscription level do we need to subscribe to never hear Dave sing again?
That would be
that tier hasn't been invented yet.
That's right. It'll probably be like the golden ear tier, where if somebody donates $20,000 a month, we will sign a blood oath that Dave will never sing on the podcast again. But until that day, we like Dave's song. We enjoyed it. He's going to keep singing. And he's got the Yeti microphone. And he enjoys hearing his own silky voice with the Yeti microphone. So I think you're going to get more singing from Dave. I don't think the Ian Book was a one-off thing.
Why is that quality so terrible? It does not sound like that on my phone.
I think you're gonna have all off season. I think by the time next off season comes around, Scott, Dave's gonna have a greatest hits album that we're gonna play. We're gonna have a Dave parody song bracket. He'll have so many.
Need him and Brian Hansen and Morton Anderson to get together, record, a new track. Trio.
That's right.
Take it to the bathroom.
Take it to the bathroom. Well done, Tomas. Well done.
Thomas is the
Hey,
best.
Tomas, check the timestamp on this.
From downtown and across the Atlantic. That's the kind of strike we needed.
That's it.
Next question.
Okay, last question. Save the best for last. Saints Rabbit is the author of this question, and he asks, which of the following would be more effective in lieu of our current offensive line? Parking chalks, traffic cones, parade barriers, or track and field hurdles?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's a good question.
What was the first one?
Parking chalks.
What's a parking chalk?
It's like, isn't it the big slab of concrete that's just on the ground?
Yeah.
Well, that would be the answer then.
Well, you can just
everything else you can just shove over.
Yeah, but you can just step over a chalk. Maybe.
Yeah, like the parking truck, you can just step over it. It's not like a block. It's like a little. It's
not those like waist high.
No, it's just a little curb thing, like when you pull up in your car.
Okay, all right, okay. Well,
it's not even.
I'm assuming that's what it is. I actually have no clue.
I think.
Then I'm gonna Google.
I think it's traffic cones because I feel like traffic cones, they're high enough that if the person tried to jump them, they might clip them. Whereas like a parade barrier, you can grab it and you can like spring yourself over it if you don't want to just jump straight over it. I think it's traffic cones.
If that barrier falls, the D line's all busting their ankles in there.
Oh, that's true.
They're trying to pull their way out of that. A hurdle, you just push down and all you got to do is like step over one thing. A traffic cone, it might trip you, but I think parade barriers have the highest chance of like injury, which I'm not wishing on anyone, but
Would you rather, if you couldn't do the whole offensive line, would you rather have a parade barrier or Cesar Ruiz at guard, Kevin? If you could just you can't have a whole offensive line. If you could just like pick and choose, would you rather have a parade barrier or Cesar Ruiz at guard?
I'll take the parade barrier, thank you.
Oh yeah. Imagine like McCoy and Ramczyk grabbing it with their, their left arms and just left and right arm and just picking it up and like moving the line with it. They would just go downfield. Yeah, it'd be way more effective than Ruiz.
We didn't get into Cesar Ruiz. He has regressed to the point of like they can't, like, Scott, they got to do something. Like they can't have him starting at guard next year. Like
what's crazy is like we were talking earlier about Cam Jordan and like why don't we bring up other positions where when these guys are missing, they don't play as well. With Ruiz, if I had told you on that Monday night game that there's one guy on this O-line that's a first round pick. There's another guy they signed yesterday that hadn't been with the team this year. There's two others that are UDFA, and there's a second round pick. Like, which one was signed yesterday? Everyone would have pointed to Ruiz. Like, no, that's actually the first round pick. It was right. It was sad, man. And yeah, even like last year when you saw him with the starter, like there's been moments where his run blocking has been it's not bad, but his pass protection is some of the worst shit I've ever seen. And drafting a center to play guard, it worked with Charles Bentley when you moved him around. It is not working with Ruiz.
They broke the Ralph #1 rule of drafting, Kevin. Never draft a dude who's good at one thing in college and ask him to do something completely different in the NFL. That always always usually ends in tears.
He's a great
So-
hybrid player, Ralph. He tested really well.
What was the test? They were
COVID.
asking the
Oh,
wrong
no,
questions.
actually, he keeps passing.
What
the
about
COVID.
Andrew Speed? Oh wait.
Parade people in the chat are saying parade barriers definitely is the way to go.
Let me ask you this, because your listeners can't stand Pete. Has Ruiz managed to do something that you and I couldn't do, Ralph, that we tried to do once, which was try to make Andrews Pete be appreciated just a little?
I think so.
We failed at it, but I think Ruiz
so.
has somehow managed to do it.
I think Ruiz
He
had.
did what we couldn't, guys.
I think people are like, give me Andres Pete, please, for the love of God. Because the thing is with Pete is he never looks just overwhelmed and confused. He always looks like, oh, he just got beat physically. His form wasn't good. He got destroyed. He got pushed back, whatever. You rarely had Pete in times where you're like, he's out there blocking no one and just he's like an old man in a parking lot looking for his car.
Yeah.
Like the confused, glazed over look. You don't see that too much with Pete. Ruiz, it happens twice a half with him. So anyway, guys, thanks for the questions. It's prediction time. Thomas, I don't know. Scott was such a late ad. I guess he's not going to have a prediction graphic, so we'll have to go over to the score. But Scott, you of course get to make a prediction, but we have to go over where we stand in the standings for the show.
Are you sure you want to know?
I mean, I know I biffed it. I picked Carolina, so I know I'm out of this. Oh my. How did Andrew get 14? He got 3.
Andrew got 3 points again. He locked the game and he predicted the winner. And he also wanted the start of the game.
Oh, he locked it in.
He predicted Marquez Callaway, but I think you won't give it to him as the start of the game.
You can't give it to
Callaway. Yeah.
So Andrew's got that.
He would have had. He would have had 17 points, or even like 20, I think, for predicting the start of the game while locking the game.
I want to lock mine in for this week. I want to lock.
Too late for that. You cannot now.
So, dude, what was Andrew's prediction?
I don't remember. I don't like. He
Did he
predicted
send it?
yeah. Oh, you want this week's prediction? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this week's prediction.
You want to start with Andrew?
Yeah.
What do you think was his prediction?
I think he predicted the Saints. Like, right?
What about rest of the guys?
Yeah.
Across the board.
Oh, guys, I gotta disappoint you. Andrew predicted 23-20 for the Falcons, and he said the season is over.
God, I didn't see that coming.
And
that's a heel turn from Andrew Juge.
You caught Andrew at a bad moment. He was probably pissed that his flight got delayed. His house has like a foot of snow or some shit. His generator's running. It's going to be empty when he gets home. You probably caught him at a bad moment. That's why he picked it. So give us Dave's prediction, and then Scott, you're going to go. So give us Dave's prediction, Thomas.
Okay, so Dave actually predicted Saints winning for a change, and he predicted 24-17 Saints, and his star of the game is gonna be Taysom Hill.
All right, Scott.
And there's one more thing. Well,
what, he locked it in? Oh, there it is. He locked it in.
As he should. That's
As
the
he
only
should.
way.
I forgot. I forgot to lock it in. I should have locked mine in because it's the last week of the year.
Yeah, that's the only way you can.
We might have another week.
That's the only way he can catch Andrew.
So Scott, here's how it works: you give a prediction, and you give us the
start of the game or third of the game.
Yeah,
depending on who you choose to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I listened to the show. So we got Saints 20-9.
Well,
Star of the game, Cam Jordan.
I like it.
Well, I mean, you know, you
Damn.
sack him 8 times, that'll happen.
Give me every lock there is.
This is like the MTV Rock and Jock. This is like that 8-point ball.
That's right. On MTV.
Here's my favorite thing about the 2021 Falcons is, and Andrew, and I think Kevin too used to make fun of me because in my predictions a while ago, and they made so much fun of me, I stopped doing it. But I think it's 100% true for the Falcons. I used to say all the time, this game's going to be a blowout or somebody's going to win by a field goal. And they called it the Ralph special. But Atlanta, they are the Ralph special team of 2021. They're last in DVOA in Football Outsiders. The reason is they either win the game by 4 points or they get absolutely freaking trucked. Look at their scores of their games. They either win it close or they get their ass handed to them. So my theory is like, if you're doing that, like, you just have to go on what Atlanta is. I mean, look at their scores. They lost 48-25 to Tampa, 32-6 to the Eagles. They beat the Giants 17-14. They lost to Washington 34-30. They beat the Jets 27-20. They beat Miami 30-28. They lost 43-3. They lost 25-0. They beat the Saints 27-25. They lost to Tampa by 2 scores. So my point is this: the Saints are going to win, and they are going to destroy Atlanta. And this crazy, weird, insane Saints season, it needs to end with complete joy in the regular season. And Scott, what would bring us more joy than beating Atlanta?
Not much.
Beating Atlanta in their own stadium to clinch a playoff spot, beating them 28-3. That would bring us so much joy, it could literally kill us all. We'd die with a smile on our face. So here's my thing. Saints 28, Falcons 3. Your star of the game is God, because he's going to give us something really, really special on Sunday. How about that? That's my prediction. I forgot to lock it in. I wish I could.
Second time this season, God has been listed as the star of the game.
Yeah. Kevin, nice. You remember.
That's right.
I remember that?
I think I listed the guy, though. I think it was the turd of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Nope, you're right. You're right.
I made God the turd of the game.
Oh, you're trying to get on his good graces now.
I'm trying to get in the good graces. So that's my big. Seven, wrap us up. What's your prediction for the game, Saints? So, by the way, I forgot. Saints 4.5-point favorite in Atlanta, and the Rams, who the Saints need to win, they are a 5.5-point favorite over San Francisco. So, but Kevin, go ahead.
Saints 16, Falcons 10. Star of the game, Marcus Williams.
Ooh, I like that. Here's the thing we didn't do.
Those good COVID drugs in him.
Here's something I should have done for the prediction to make it more fun. I should have asked Thomas for a graphic, but I didn't think of it till just now. And I think we need to go around the horn because, listen, for the Saints to get in the playoffs, everybody knows they need to win, and San Francisco needs to lose. And the Rams, Scott, will have every I'm blanking on the word, but they have every reason to want to win Sunday, because if they win, they're the 2 seed. If they lose, they could be the 5 seed. So they're going to want to beat San Francisco. So my question to you is, besides your Saints pick, do you think the Rams are going to get it done and help the Saints out and beat San Francisco?
I mean, Kyle Shanahan's got McVay's number.
He does.
The Niners have kind of owned the Rams, unfortunately, the last couple of years, but Trey Lance didn't look that great against Houston. And so that coupled with the fact that LA has a lot, I think if San Fran's, no one's at full strength, but I think they're missing a little too much here. And I hope I can't stand the Rams, but I hope that McVay can finally get one over on Shanahan, who's kind of owned him, to be honest.
That's right.
So I think don't turn it over if you're the Rams, and
That's hard. Stafford's been booty the last
yeah, man. I think what the Rams have going for them, it's not like Jimmy Garoppolo is like incredible, but there's times wherever it's close, he won't lose you the game. And I think it's going to be difficult for Trey Lance going up against that D line of the Rams. So I don't think the Rams are going to cover. I think it's going to be one of those deals, Ralph, where Saints win and Fox switches over and we're sitting there, holding our asses, just hoping,
sweating it out.
But I think the Rams are going to win by a field goal. I do.
Yeah. By the way, somebody said if Shy Tuttle gets a fat guy touchdown, he goes into the ring of honor.
Oh, deception!
Play it all out.
Play it all out. We love it. It's
oh, deception! Matt Ryan. Oh my God. Wie eine Puppe gibt er ihn den Stiffarm und er fliegt auf den Boden. Hör doch mal auf.
Yeah. A lot of people in the chat, Matt says Saints 21-6, star of the game. Deontay Harris. It's gonna be really interesting. Of course, you're gonna have so you're gonna have playoffs never go as scripted, and if all the favorites win, the Saints will be in the playoffs, and there's always some sort of chaos or mayhem that happens. But Scott, I was trying to think, is 2005 or no, 2004, is that the last time the Saints went into a final day needing to win and needing help to get into the playoffs? I think it is, right?
Yeah. That's it. And Doug Bryan,
Yeah, Doug.
Damn
stupid Herm Edwards should have let him get a little
Payton.
closer. I'm still bitter about that.
Yeah,
you play to win the games, but you don't play to kick a closer field goal.
Man, the Saints have won 4 in a row. They were playing great ball after everybody left them out. They would have, I don't know, they felt like they could have. And the fucking 5 and 6 seed both won that year in the wild card round. The Rams beat the Seahawks, and then that was the Randy Moss Moon game where Joe Buck said that was a disgusting act. It's like they could have actually won a game that year. But who knows? I mean,
it changes Saints history though. If Hazlitt wins a second playoff game, we might not have the Drew Brees era.
Who knows? You might be right.
But anyway, guys, thanks for joining us as always on the live stream. And I want to say thanks to Scott. Scott, you're at ESPN in Lafayette 1420, but tell the people all your stuff. Tell them how they find you on Twitter, how to listen to your show, which is amazing. I'm a guest all the time. It's a great show, the Great Scott Show. Tell them how they can find you on the internet or wherever to listen to your show.
There's also a fans only account at a couple of websites that you can get into, see a little bit, behind the scenes. I'm kidding.
Fans only.
But don't do that. At Scott Mimic on Twitter. Just follow me there, and links are there. ESPNLafayette.com. We're FM now, AM still. We got the stream, the app. So at ESPN Lafayette and at Scott Mimic and ESPNLafayette.com. And I don't tweet as much as Ralph and the guys, usually because I'm trying to chase 3 young kids around. And and working. But when I can, I like to run with it. But always love doing this, man, and appreciate you having me on. I've spent some birthdays just crying about the Saints. Whenever I turned 6, they got slaughtered by the Vikings in the playoffs. When I turned 11, I was at the game. They're up by 10 in the fourth quarter, and they lose by 16. So, I remember the Mark Brunell, Lionel Hamilton show in the reserve game in the 2009 season. Of course, Saints went on to win the Super Bowl that year, so that was a good thing. So I figured, you know what? If I'm going to spend my 40th birthday, I might as well spend it talking about the Saints.
That's right. So we appreciate it. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for supporting us, as always. Andrew and Dave, safe travels to wherever you need to get to.
Ralph, you forgot about something.
Oh, wait, I forgot something. A clip of the week. I'm an idiot. Do it, Thomas. Always.
Okay, so it's funny because this week we don't have a singular clip of the week. We have a clip compilation, actually.
Oh, wow.
So let's check it out.
When the guy who will scrub Roger Goodell's balls vigorously to make sure they are pristine and as shiny as Dave's head right now. When he even questions the legitimacy of the league allowing allowing the Saints to field a team of fucking guys that came off the street. They could have picked any of the four of us.
Confused Ian Bookface. Good work by Thomas. Dave, how long did it take you to throw
Dave,
that
you're
thing
really
together?
using your head range there, as they say.
Why do they call that head range?
When you can't actually hit a note and you're just like, like
that's what she said.
Kind of, yeah.
I don't know all the technical terms. I'm
The head
more
range.
of a natural talent, unpolished, if you will. How long did that take me? It did not take me that long.
Thomas, the violin. No. Anyway.
The sad violin is the right segue for this, Kevin.
Sorry, Kevin. Sorry.
Kevin, I was trying to... It never gets old. Like, I think we should just do a whole podcast of sad violin just looped in the back. Kevin, I was trying to think of a quarterback in Saints.
I wish I loved anything as much as Andrew loves hearing the sad violin.
I know. He loved Andrew.
He loves when you're sad.
He does.
Happy to oblige.
Like
he's a sadist.
We might need to do a navel gazing bracket of a bracket of all our sound effects and seed them 1 to like 64.
Sure.
What seed is I'm gonna barbecue your ass
in molasses? Those are old school. Those are old. That's a good one. Scott, I used to love the Buford T. Justice ones. They never really caught on. They had that one. They had that's the pure and simple communism. They never caught on.
I think it's because you played them at the wrong time and they were like way over modulated and too loud.
That's right. Now we got a professional producer. Maybe I should tell Thomas to work some of the old Buford T. Justice, Smokey and the Bandit sound drops back in.
Hell yeah. And it's the problem is you would do it, but it'd be like right in the middle, like Kevin would be on this great rant and he'd be pissed about Adrian Peterson, and then suddenly Ralph would just it's like, man, it was kind of rolling, and then you just win.
That's what's inaudible.
Sorry, I didn't mean to turn this into like a roast. I was just appreciating that.
It's not a roast. It's memories of classic podcast episodes.
You guys started this, right? Like 14 years ago.
That's right. Here, I could do this though.
My Christmas.
So yeah, it was either 2007 or 2008. Like it's long. It's a long time.
Well, congrats on all.
We were early podcast Saints podcast pioneers. Now we're old. So anyway, thanks to Scott for pinch hitting.
Good to see you.
Go to ESPN.
Hey, Tomas,
1420 in Lafayette.
check the timestamp on this.
Find Scott wherever he is. Support 1420 in Lafayette. He does an amazing job. The Great Scott Show. Support him. He's amazing. Kevin, thanks for joining us. Dave and Andrew, safe travels. Thanks to everybody in the chat. And hopefully the Saints will win. And we will see you again tomorrow. Oh, the bar's... I fucked it up. Never.